In Orange Farm, shadows stretched longer than the streets themselves. This is where the 50 ninjas once rose under the feared leadership of Mshiso and Ntando, men whose names made rivals whisper. Their fall was supposed to end the war, but the graffiti on the walls says otherwise. The number 50 still bleeds through the fog, a reminder that silence in Orange Farm is never peace, only the pause before revenge. After Mshiso and Ntando were gone, people thought life had returned to normal. The soccer field stood empty, swings creaked quietly, and neighbors convinced themselves that danger had passed. But the ninjas hadn't vanished. They were watching, waiting, like smoke beneath the surface. The calm on these streets was not safety. It was a false calm, stretched thin over a storm. Then came whispers of a new shadow, the death of John Bravo. His body was found cold, eyes wide open. No one could prove the ninjas had done it, but online a chant began. Triggerman, one of their close allies, posted the words, "Who's happy now?" It was not grief, it was a declaration. In every comment, the number 50 appeared again and again, like drums in the distance. Revenge from Mshiso and Ntando was underway. In Orange Farm, no secret stays hidden for long. Behind curtains, neighbors peeped out, whispering about the 50 ninjas' return. Each glance through the glass carried fear that the blood spilled from Mshiso and Ntando would demand more. Ordinary streets became watchtowers, every eye searching for the next victim. The war had never truly ended. When John Bravo was laid to rest, the streets wept in crimson. Rain pooled in creeks of concrete, stained red like a wound that refused to heal. Everyone knew that this was only the first act. A declaration of war was not written in words, but in blood. The fight moved from the streets to the screens. On Facebook, Triggerman's words echoed like gunfire. Revenge from Mshiso and Ntando is complete. In the comments, friends and allies typed the number 50 again and again. A silent chat, a digital war cry. The internet became their battlefield, and every post was a bullet. Walls across Orange Farm told their own story, layer after layer of graffiti. The number 50 painted, repainted, and dripped like blood. Olive vines tried to choke the warnings, but failed. The message was clear. The 50 ninjas had not been buried with Mshiso and Ntando. Their enemies would be next. 1 week after John Bravo's death, his funeral erupted like a ritual of war. Friends and allies sang ancient songs of vengeance, their voices sharp as knives. This was no farewell, it was preparation. The 50 ninjas were back, and their fire burned brighter than ever. At the funeral, grief beat like war drums. Each strike echoed across Orange Farm, each rhythm a declaration. The ninjas were not finished. The songs were more than traditional. They were promises of revenge, a signal that blood would answer blood. As dawn fell, a heavy silence settled on the township. Heat simmered on the roads, twisting into visions of knives and blood. Everyone moved faster, eyes dancing nervously. Peace was nothing but the pause before another shot. The 50 ninjas had many rivals, but none more dangerous than the 40 ninjas. Their feud stretched across years like a deadly game of chess. Every insult online, every threat was a move on the board. But behind those words were bodies. And in this round, someone was about to fall. The fight didn't stay in the streets. Facebook turned into a battlefield. The 40 ninjas marked openly. the 50 ninjas fight back. Words became weapons, insults like bullets. Everyone in Orange Farm watched, knowing it was only time before the violence online spilled into the streets again. The cycle came quickly. Matunga, one of the 50 ninjas' most respected figures, was gunned down. No one admitted to pulling the trigger, but the message was clear. Kill one of us and we'll kill one of yours. His death wasn't just a loss, it was a signal that the bloodshed was far from over. Matunga's absence left a hole in the gang and the community. His name carried power, his presence demanded respect. Now all that remained was silence and anger. For the 50 ninjas, grief instantly hardened into rage. His death wasn't the end, it was the reason to keep fighting. The 40 ninjas didn't stop at killing. They mocked Matunga's death online, posting cruel words. People are crying while we are celebrating. It was a slap in the face to his family, his friends, and his crew. For the 50 ninjas, it was proof that their enemies wouldn't stop until they broke them completely. When a young 50 ninja responded with pain, the 40's answer was merciless. You are next. And then something even darker. We don't need a gun to kill you. It wasn't just a threat, it was a promise that nowhere was safe. In Orange Farm, anything could be turned into a weapon. Bricks, bottles, chains. The 40 ninjas didn't just rely on guns. Their message was brutal. We'll get you however we can. Every street corner, every alley became a place to die. While gangs prepared for war, mothers prayed for their sons. In small homes lit by candles, they begged for protection. But their prayers couldn't stop the cycle. Every day, they lived with the fear that their boys wouldn't come home alive. Orange Farm became a place where fear ruled. Every sound, a door slamming, a dog barking, a firework popping, made people jump. Nobody trusted the silence anymore. The township was trapped in constant paranoia. After Matunga's funeral, one young ninja went live on Facebook. His face was twisted with grief and fury. His message was cold. We are coming for you, all of you. But the 40 ninjas mocked him in the comments, filling the screen with laughter and new threats. The war was alive, both online and on the ground. Orange Farm boiled with tension. The 50 ninjas weren't just mourning anymore, they were preparing. The streets felt like a ticking time bomb, ready to explode at the slightest spark. Each week another family buried their dead. Graves filled faster than the earth could ever fill them. The calendar became a list of funerals, each one marking the war's heavy toll. Fog settled over the township like a blanket of fear. Houses stood quiet, but inside, whispers spread. The war will never end. Life carried on, but it was life lived in suffocation, with no escape from the violence. Orange Farm wore its scars openly. Bullet holes in walls, shattered glass in alleys. Bloodstains no rain could ever wash away. The war had no rules, no mercy, and no finish line. Everyone knew it. This cycle of violence had no end. As night fell, the streets disappeared into a thick fog. Street lamps glowed faintly, casting long shadows across the township. Faded murals of the number 50 still clung to the walls, whispering a warning. The names of Mshiso, Dando, John Bravo, and Matunga echoed in every alley. The ninjas weren't done. The war wasn't over. In Orange Farm, revenge never dies.
Awusitsheli lokho. Awusithi mina.